Is that recorded?
Are you not recording?
Yeah,
yet?
I am recording, but I really scuffed the actual intro because I was laughing at myself.
Use it.
Who cares?
Here's what
Okay,
I'm going to do.
hello.
I'm going to say the
Keep
same
going.
thing.
Shut up! I'm doing the intro now. Shut up.
Keep us all.
Hello to all you betas and you Burks. Today we are talking about the hit 2019 film Parasite, directed by Joon-ho. The film is about a family that becomes, one would say, parasitic to a wealthy family in Seoul, South Korea. We will make funny comments throughout the next 2 hours about this film.
I wouldn't
Take-
promise that. I wouldn't promise that right off the top.
Burke, please proceed to wikipedia.org/parasite, parentheses, 2019 film, close parentheses, and read sentence 1 of the plot summary.
We watched a movie called Parasite. And do you know why we watched this movie? Not because you recommended it to us, but you could have.
No.
And then we would have watched it because you recommended it, but you didn't, so we're just
could've
watching it
emailed
normally.
to Burke.
But you know what you could do? You could email it to burkeandthebetas@gmail.com or tweet at us at beinthebetas on Twitter, which I'm hoping someone else will take out of my hands because I don't know. I really don't know how to operate Twitter.
I'll take it. Give me that
All right.
login, bro. You can
All right,
trust me.
I'll do that.
You can trust
you'll do better than I'm
real.
doing.
It's gonna get
Tom's
real
gonna
weird
turn-
real fast.
Yeah, Tom's gonna
It's
turn
so
Twitter
weird.
into a shit post. Into one big shit post.
It'll be
I am
better
going
than what
to,
I'm
like,
using
constantly-
it for. So
No matter what I post, I'm gonna at Wendy's.
Hell yeah.
I'll keep you.
That's
that.
actually a good idea because
That's actually-
Wendy's like replies to a lot of stuff, so we might get that
Get that
Wendy's
Wendy's.
clout.
exposure.
Can we get sponsored
That
by
Wendy's
Wendy's?
exposure.
Can I get a free junior cheeseburger every episode? I'd eat that shit online.
Yeah. I will have a Frosty on me on camera at all times.
Yeah, we'll each have one of the 4 for 4 items on us as we during the episode.
We'll split a 4 for 4.
Yeah.
I'll get the
We
fries.
each only paid
Fries.
$1. Could you believe that?
$1.07. Well, actually, no. I guess me and Noah did $1.07. Jared did $1 and whatever the sales tax is in Pennsylvania. Burke,
Yeah.
perhaps paid no sales tax because he's not in America.
Burke,
I
Burke
I'm
will have
under
to-
the
Burke will just
assumption
have
that
to-
we have to buy this 4 for 4 at one singular location. So
Yeah, and then we have to
then-
ship the product
Yeah,
to those
Burke
of us
has to
who
pay
aren't-
for international shipping.
Yeah.
I'm sure Wendy's has the tab on that one for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna
You're talking about how
I'm
their
gonna-
burger preserves for years.
next in about 3 to 4 weeks. Burke is gonna get a package that just contains some Wendy's nuggets.
Before we jump into the plot, we have our starting
Yeah.
thoughts. So I have seen
Yeah.
this movie before. Obviously, Jared has seen this movie. I believe that Noah and Tom, this is your first time watching this.
No, I've seen it before.
Okay, so I believe
It
Noah
was
and
my-
Tom. It's your no, Tom. Now you have to lie and pretend like he was.
Oh man, I've never seen this shit before.
It was my first time seeing this movie.
So I guess we'll start with Noah then. What was your initial thoughts having not seen this movie before? What was your expectations of what you thought this movie was, and then what it ended up being for you?
So, I mean, after hearing about this movie in some way, shape, or form online for the past like several years since it came out, I got a better idea of what it was about than what I initially thought when it came out.
Right.
When it came out at first, I thought the same thing I think a lot of people thought, which was that it was going to be like a horror movie.
Right.
Also because of an anime of the same name, which is like
Yes.
a body horror type anime. But yeah, I thought it was going to be some kind of like thriller horror type thing. And then I saw a bunch of people online saying the same exact thing and being like, it turns out it is not that. And so all I knew going into the movie, watching it, which I'm kind of proud of myself for going in completely blind after like 4 years. All I knew is that it is not a horror movie like the name would suggest, and that it makes some sort of commentary on capitalism, on like the class wealth structure or whatever. I only had that kind of vague idea, and then I just jumped in. I after watching it now for the first time, I like it a lot. It was really good. I don't know what I was expecting, but I was not expecting what I got. I was pleased with it.
Yeah, I don't know. The title makes sense after having watched the film, but
Yeah.
I especially like I was in the theater thinking it was going to be a horror movie or like some sort of like thriller, and I think I just kept waiting for the shoe to drop, and the shoe does drop in the film, but it's not at all in the same way that you would expect. And it still keeps up a little bit of a zaniness to it as the shoe drops, so it's not like it's more like a weird circumstance than like a oh shit, there's a monster now killing us, which is like where I thought that was going. I was like I was a good like hour into the movie being like, at what point does the parasite come?
When does the tentacle monster come out of the basement or something?
Right. Like, yeah, especially when the basement scene happens, you also are kind of like, wait, is this it? And then it's not.
Yeah. There
At
are
all.
definitely like some like angles when you're watching this where you're thinking, oh, this is where it's gonna turn into a horror. Like when the mother is talking about how the son said he saw a ghost come out of the basement a couple years ago. You're like, okay, this is where it's coming into play. But I don't know where we all heard that this movie was gonna be horror. But like, I was in the theater the first time, like,
well,
not scary yet.
Well, even then, like the scene where she explains the whole ghost in the basement thing is after we already find out about the basement. So it's one of those things where it's like, oh shit, okay.
Yeah. So the Kim. Wait, Tom, you got any thoughts?
I don't think he does. We can keep.
Yeah, I can't. You know what? I'm like looking in my own brain. It's open. You can't see it, but it's open, and I don't see anything in here.
That tracks.
I've been trying to tell you that for a long time.
My own.
We're trying to pass it on to you.
My only pre-discussion thoughts that I have were, the moment where Kiwoo said, we can leech off this family like some sort of parasite, is when the entire theater stood up and cried and clapped together.
Yeah, I remember that. That was a really great part. I love that part.
I do want to say I do like this movie a lot. Like, and even second time watching it, I still like it.
Oh, it's an amazing. It holds up so well. It
is an incredible movie, honestly.
Yeah, it really is good. My controversial take is that it still should not have won Best Picture that year. I think there are better choices still.
Ooh, wow.
Whoa.
Okay, hold on. I'm okay
have to
with
go
the
into that
sidetrack.
later.
Okay, we'll go to it later. All right.
We're gonna have to go into this later because that's spicy.
That was okay. To be fair, though, 2019 was
2019
maybe
was
the
stacked,
most stacked Oscar year, maybe of all time. There were some other good years, but
certainly most recent.
Like probably the only one in the last like decade that has anywhere near that caliber. I hope we get something like that again soon. But it was crazy.
I do remember some really good shit coming out in 2019.
I feel like everyone kind of just got pulled into the Oscars for a moment because they were like, wait, what the fuck? What is all this?
Yeah.
So we'll jump in. The Kim family live in a semi-basement flat. Banjiha. I'm not going to be able to pronounce it. I'm just going to set that standard right now. I'm not going to be able to pronounce everything. I'm going to try my best. In Seoul, they have It's not pronounced Seoul. Okay, let's just clear that out. That's one thing I can tell you with certainty.
We know that much.
Yeah,
we know that much.
So
that's
pause,
a beta fact.
That is a beta
Immediately
fact.
pause.
We start, and when you're doing post-production, start throwing out beta facts. On like the top corner of the
Did you
screen.
know? Yeah, your little
Roll
pop
along
up.
the bottom.
Did you know?
Did you know?
Did you know Noah shit his pants when we said that?
God damn it! I thought I already added an ad break edit, and I think that's enough. Did you see that one, by the way? Did any of you watch the last episode?
I didn't get.
I don't think I got that far.
I appreciated the return of Fjord VPN.
Thank you. But on the YouTube version, there was a visual gag.
Oh,
I
didn't
just
make it
wrote
far in the YouTube version.
I just wrote, "We sold out. Here's an ad," and it's not even. We don't
Put
don't even
royalty-free
realize.
music in the background while
Yeah,
we did the.
I have a subscription to Epidemic Sound, so I can use That's not sponsored. But God damn it, they should now. I'm gonna bleep that out. All right, do your noise so I can remember to. All right, thanks. Thanks. We'll get that resolved.
Them just like crowding like around the toilet as like the one spot where they can get Wi-Fi. Like I felt that. It's like when your phone charger breaks and you have to hold it just in place a certain way.
Yes.
Yeah, it's right off the bat. We have this we're seeing this struggle of this the Kim family. They are. I'll go through it because it says it here. We have Min Hyuk, which is a university student. They gives a family a. Oh, sorry. That's the university student. That's the friend that leaves, right?
Yep.
Gives the family a scholar's rock meant to promise wealth, which we will see. Chekhov's scholar's rock. That one's a good one.
Chekhov's rock.
Chekhov's rock. That's an actual. Listen, some of the Chekhovs that I've done have been questionable, but.
Yeah.
Chekhov's scholar's rock tracks.
Are you just packing them into your notes now that it's a bit?
Yeah,
it's like every other sentence is Chekhov something.
I will shoehorn it.
I actually, every time I take notes, I always pick one thing where I'm like, I feel like this is the Chekhov's thing.
Yeah.
And this time I was right, actually. I did correctly guess Chekhov's rock.
Oh, did you predicted it before it happening?
Yeah. I saw the rock and I was like, that's Chekhov's rock, baby. I know it when I see it.
I know Chekhov's rock when I see it.
Yeah, that's actually what I said in the theater on opening night. I'm like, I stood up and like, hey, everybody.
He pulled
Chekhov's rock.
Yeah, elbow the guy next to you.
He pulled a Leo. He pulled a Leo.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Pointing at himself.
By the way, one of my favorite memes is that Leo meme.
It's good. It's a good one. So he's leaving to study abroad.
When I see Chekhov's rock.
Stop spoiling what I'm going to do with the Twitter.
By the way, that Leo meme is we're gonna circle back to that Leo meme when I talk about what should have won Best Picture that year. Okay, continue.
Ooh.
You Hollywood chill.
Oh, true. That did come out in 2019. Yeah, that was also a great movie.
I haven't seen it yet. It's one of the few Oscar movies that year I didn't watch. He suggests that Kim's son, Ki-woo, pose as a university student to take over his job as an English language tutor for Dahi,
I think.
Dahi?
I think.
Okay. The daughter of the rich Park family. It's like, I should know because I watched the movie, and then I still don't. Ki-woo, posing as Yonsei University student, is hired by the Park family. So we meet the Kim family, and we have... these four are living very poorly. We see them, their first job is like folding pizza boxes as a whole family, which just shows you like they're really like, you know, obviously folding pizza boxes is not a job that's going to give you a lot of money anyway. And we learned all four of them are doing that.
Did they imply that, like, because they said, 1/4 of the pizza boxes were folded improperly, were they implying that the dad folded them? Like, he was the only one that folded them improperly? Because they all look at him after she says that.
They were probably trying to, they were probably trying to nod at something there.
Which is a damn shame, because the dad was the only one who continued folding them when their basement apartment kept getting fumigated.
Yeah, he was, like, immune to it.
Everyone else is, like holding their shirts over their mouth and nose. He was just, like, dead set. I'm going to fold this pizza box. It kills me.
I mean... Yeah, already starting with the relatable capitalist content for you.
Yeah, for sure.
But also, so we've gotten to the part where Min tells Ki-woo that right, did you get the part?
Yeah,
where
tells
like,
him
you
about
should start
the job.
tutoring to this girl, and Min is talking about how he doesn't want to ask his university friends to do it because they will hit on her. And that he plans on asking her out when she officially enters university. Good thing his buddy Ki-woo would never do such a thing.
We can trust Ki-woo.
2, I don't think it's ever said like how old any of these characters are. However, the mom makes a reference that Dahi is probably still earlier in high school. So like,
she was a sophomore.
Some major creep factor.
Yeah, Min straight up says she's a sophomore in high school.
I missed that.
Yeah, so I mean, look, I don't know what the cultural standard is amongst Korean people. I don't know if that's just like a thing that happens. I'm not touching that. I absolutely
Good.
no comment on
Good.
that.
We're
Oh
ready.
my god. Oh my god. I
Good. Say your piece.
I hate this. I hate this.
Got him.
No, I think
Constantly under scrutiny.
you're right. No, because it's definitely one of those things where it's like you're like you can't go near it. It's
Wait a minute. Is Brienne behind you?
No, that's Bong
No.
Joon-ho.
no, it's Bong Joon-ho.
Brienne?
Do you mean? You mean
I-
Brienne, the
she's like-
notable director, Oscar-worthy director, Brienne?
Yeah, Burke,
I'm-
I don't think I've ever noticed this before, but Brienne looks shockingly like Bong Joon-ho.
Yeah,
Yeah. Especially in that picture.
she snuck
Yeah.
us into the Oscars that year. That's why I say it's the best year for Oscars.
She was there.
Yeah,
She got shot in one of those classic "Who's
This
the real
sucks.
one" situations.
Yeah, that's her wedding photo.
yeah. This is our wedding photo.
She's like,
actually.
this is me and Burke when we kiss.
Mwah, mwah.
This is how me and Burke kiss.
yeah.
No kiss.
Also, I'm a 2-time Oscar award winner.
Also, I'm a two-time Oscar award winner. Also,
And my
That's
name
gotta
is
be-
Bong
no, that's gotta be
Joon-ho.
more than 2, right?
I have no clue, honestly. I don't. So yeah, some weird age differences. I'm gonna make an assumption that he is 17 for the sake of this movie.
Let's hope.
let's
Okay,
hope.
moving on.
So yeah, we have this very poor family, and now we obviously see the first of the 4 joining the Park family, are going to try to become working for the Park family. The Kim family schemes to get each member a job with the Park family. The Kim daughter, Ki Jung, poses as Jessica, and using
Only child,
Ki-woo
Illinois,
as a
Chicago.
reference. Yeah.
Can I just say that scene of them, I don't know if we've gotten this far in the plot yet, but the scene where she's like about to step in for this like house interview or whatever, and she has to do like a real quick, and they do like a cute little like mnemonic song between the two of them to help her remember what her backstory is, was so cool. I love that. It was such a charming little character moment.
Yeah, it's definitely just seeing this family dynamic. I always like family dynamics in movies. It's always like an interesting thing. Which
Yeah.
by the way, I got to see Quantumania yesterday. Had a Jared little ping there.
Yes.
And
That Jared.
that was my favorite part about that movie too, was actually.
Yeah, the family in this movie is so charming.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. I mean, they're rich, so like they can't be that good.
no,
Oh,
the
we're
main
talking-
family, not the
the
not the
Kims.
Park
Oh.
family.
Okay, yeah, they're very much not rich.
Way to
Yeah.
default to the rich people, Jared.
Yeah, bootlicker.
That's
Yeah,
that's
let's
actually,
ruin Jared's image next.
Yeah, well, that
I
you
already
know, we were
get 'em.
thinking of a rebranding for me, and I'm really disappointed that you guys decided last episode to give Mako the cryptid expert because it's definitely me. It's definitely me.
Did I give Mako
When
the
you're
cryptid
talking about
expert?
the not
I
a
feel like
deer.
I didn't.
You
I
did.
have not once heard Jared talk about cryptids.
Jared
me
and
too.
another college buddy pretended that they were going to start a cryptid club on campus, and they never. One of the many things Jared never did in college.
We're never gonna start a cryptid club.
I think there was a brief moment. You were doing extensive research about mythical creatures for like a solid semester.
You were also
No,
drunk
I
as
was.
hell.
I remember doing that, but I don't think we're ever gonna do anything with it. More just this is kind of fun to read about fucking Bigfoot, I guess.
All right,
But,
all right. Go
anyway,
ahead. Give us
but,
your
yeah, my
favorite cryptid then. No, we're on this now. Give us your favorite cryptid.
Oh,
Yeah.
my favorite cryptid.
Yeah.
It's got to be the homeboy Mothman.
Okay, Mothman fucking rocks. Okay, Mothman.
Mothman is an easy
Mothman
answer.
rocks.
Mothman's the fucking goat. The goat of West.
I'm sorry,
the
no,
West
that was
Virginia
too easy
goat.
of an answer.
No, I agree with you. Mothman is an easy S.
So you
That's
have
rank.
I thought you
so
said easy answer.
I have
My
an
mistake,
important
I'm sorry.
question
No,
for
no,
you,
no.
Jared. Answer wisely because you're from across the border here. What are your thoughts on the Jersey Devil?
Dude, I can't wait to go hunt. I've asked you actually several times
No
in
way,
the,
really?
in the almost decade I've known you to take me to the Pine Barrens so we could go looking for the Jersey Devil.
All right,
I
We
bet.
have
should go
asked
to
you
we go
several
to Apple Pie
times.
Hill.
Apple High. You can't go up Apple Pie Hill anymore.
I know you can't go in there, but we can go to it.
Okay,
Just
fine.
can't go.
All
to the
right,
town.
Everybody enjoying
know
this
what?
Parasite episode?
You know, Jared, we'll take you to see the Jersey Devil, and that was the right answer because the Jersey Devil's real and it'll steal your children. Okay.
So the Jersey Devil
Can't
has
live the
family.
Yeah, it does.
Like
It
he has like a
kids.
living relative.
I mean,
What?
No, he doesn't have kids,
I'm-
but it has a living relative because like the woman they said it was birthed from has
Yeah.
family. Like she was a real
Yeah.
woman, so she
What?
has an extended
well,
family.
according to
Yeah.
the mythology, the Jersey Devil is the 13th kid, so there's 12 more before it.
Yeah, and it
I know
escaped
my
through the
shit, so-
fireplace.
Yes, but apparently I'm not good enough for the cryptid expert to be my thing, so I guess I'm
That is
rebranding
correct.
to billionaire bootlicker.
Which makes
Jared's
a little bit
favorite
more
book
sense,
is
you know?
Atlas Shrugged.
What an ensemble we have here.
Anyway, Parasite, the 2019
My thing is, I
film.
can read. I'm just bragging at this point.
Yeah, well, how about you
I-
read the
Did
fucking
you guys know I'm
plot
able to
summary?
read? Suck it, nerds.
And my thing is I can roll into a ball and like roll really fast, like at the sonic speed. That's my thing.
This is so unhinged. This
But
is
once you follow us on Twitter, Tom will be sharing proof of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Kim daughter Ki Jung poses as Jessica and uses Kiwoo as a reference, becomes an art therapist to Park's young son, Da Song. I like how, so like we have, it's not super apparent to everyone watching that this is what their plan is, but it becomes like, it seems very clear that like early on, they made this like plan to just like slowly enter these
Yeah.
rich people's lives, and it's like we're just kind of figuring that out. And so like it was very interesting for me watching because I was like, okay, you know, at first I'm like, okay, he's got this tutoring job, right? And then when she is brought on, I'm like, okay, I guess he's like getting her a job. That makes sense. And then but then I'm like, okay, she's like doing a whole persona. What is going on here? And then you have this like sudden realization as like I think am I remembering correct? Is it the mom that comes next? I think it's
No, the dad,
It's
the
dad
driver.
and I'm like and so and then you're like, oh, I see. Okay. I see.
Yeah,
the
it is
plan here.
interesting that they never actually show them
They don't
like discuss the plan initially before
Right,
it
right.
happens. But they do show them like rehearsing stuff. But
Right.
Yeah.
I think the way I read it was that like initially the son was just accepting this job, and then once he saw an opportunity to get is like, okay, yeah, let's get her in on it. And then like at some point quickly after that they realized like, oh, let's just bring the whole family in.
Yeah.
I was under the impression that it wasn't like a part of the plan straight away. It just kind of like snowballed once he got his sister in on it.
Yeah, and I think it did, but it does seem like there was a point where they're like, "No, this is the plan," but like we aren't made aware of that, which is really
Right.
interesting as a viewer because you're like, you kind of just have to catch on at some point with them that this is what's happening, which is really interesting way to go about it. Which after that, she Ki Jung, sorry, I see like 3 names back to back reading this, and it's very confusing. Becomes an art therapist to Park's young son, Da Song. Ki Jung frames Yoon, Mr. Park's driver, by making it appear he had a sexual encounter in the car, then recommends her father, Ki Taek, to replace him. Which, this is another big part. Like, this is probably, for a lot of people, the moment that you realize this is what's happening.
yeah,
Because like everything up until then is like, okay, she's just faking it for this position. He's just faking. I get that, right? Everyone lies on a resume. I don't, whatever,
Yeah,
get your bag. And so like you like I get that, but so this is the first point of like malice towards like another person, which is interesting because when you're talking about like class struggle, it does kind of highlight in this scene how you have to like how the existence of class creates this tension between lower income individuals, and it creates a
Right.
clash between those people and often forces them to fight against each other in order to survive. And
Yeah.
this is a prime example of that, where seemingly this driver, he's for all better, he's climbed himself out of probably economic hardship as well in this situation, and we see that she's willing to kind of throw another working class individual under the bus to secure a position for her family so that they can survive. And so it's just interesting little commentary there. And
Yeah, that definitely
obviously,
comes back much later in the film too.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
That's like that's I feel like that's pretty much the whole theme of this
right.
about this movie is that concept of having to climb over your your peers, your economic peers, in order to gain some success.
Right. So then basically, because this happens, we have the father, Ki-taek, to replace him. The Kims exploit the peach allergy of the park's longtime housekeeper, Moon Gwang, to convince Mrs. Park that she has tuberculosis, which is definitely the funniest way to throw somebody under the bus.
That was a whole elaborate like Ocean's 11 type thing that they did there.
They had like this sauce and they poured it into the trash can and made it look like blood.
But that's also it's like it's a good thing she didn't smell like I guess ketchup or whatever was on the napkin. But also like throughout all of this, there are definitely plenty of opportunities to catch the Kim family in a lie, whether it be like the fake company that Mr. Kim gives to Mr. Park, or the ketchup in the napkin. But like I know like Min described the mom as she's kind of aloof, and the dad's probably just too rich to care. Like, I'll take your word for it. I don't feel like doing the basic amount of research. It's not my
that is kind of, I think that's kind of the other point. I think that's a huge part of the commentary that they're making on like class, is that this family has the luxury to not care. So like in this situation, they have one person working in the family. It's a family of 4, just like their family, but only one person's working, and they're living way wealthier, way better off than all 4 of them working all the time.
Yeah.
But also, they have the situation where the mom can afford to be airheaded in how they put it, like can afford to be that way, because versus like if they had someone like that in their family, then they wouldn't survive. And so that's something that like is highlighted here. Like he can choose not to care, and like it's just highlighting the luxury that he's been afforded and that family's been afforded to not care about those things. And because it's directly contrasted by the fact that the things that they are able to afford not to see are directly, is this family trying as hard as they can to survive right under their noses. And then even more specifically, as we get later into the film, they're able to afford not to see what's going on in their own basement, quite literally in their house. It's like, it's a very like on the nose metaphor, or is that the right term? But like it's literally going on in their own house. It's like saying like, how can a rich person in this country not care about homeless people? It's in your own backyard. This is happening right in your property. You can see it. You're choosing not to see it, and you have the luxury of being able to choose to not see something like that, even if it's in your own house. It's literally like that's the statement that he's making in this.
And like another part of it that I picked up on is like when Mr. Park hires Mr. Kim to be his driver, and he does that initial kind of like test drive with him. He says like, Mr. Kim talks about how like, I've had a lot of experience driving. And Mr. Park says like, yeah, like I really value that kind of experience, which is kind of like a nod to the audience that like realistically there's no reason why the people in this family should not have these jobs naturally, like without having to resort to deception. Like they are, I mean, with the exception of the sister pretending to be like an art therapist, but like but like for the most part, like this entire family is like competent enough at what they're doing to actually like deserve the jobs that they're doing. It just so happens that they come from nothing, so they're gonna have a harder time getting
That's
those
a
kind of jobs.
That's a really good point. There is really nothing that, because I thought the same thing, which is probably proof of my naivety of the situation, is like, that when he starts driving, I'm like, hey, he's doing really good at this. It's like,
Yeah.
but I'm like, that makes sense. It's literally driving, and like the only people that probably wouldn't be good at it is the rich guy that probably has never driven himself around.
Right. And like and you know, like there's set up in the dialogue and everything where he talks about like being like a driver for a while and like parking cars for a little stuff like that. Like
Right.
so like that should be like a big tell for everyone in the audience to be like, hey, did you know that if you spend your whole life working really shitty minimum wage jobs, you're gonna have a real range of experience that probably
Yeah.
qualifies you for a lot better jobs while being paid absolutely fucking nothing.
Right. And you will not get those jobs because even
Yeah.
though you've earned those qualifications, you won't be shown. Yeah. Yeah, that tracks. So we basically at this point, we've convinced them that Mrs. Park that Moon Gwang has tuberculosis, and so now the Kim mother Chung Suk is hired to replace Kiwoo. Hired to replace her. Kiwoo begins a secret romantic relationship with Dahi. We're not going to touch
What
it.
would Min think?
Yeah,
Yeah,
A little
that's-
drama.
yeah, it wasn't
the
really
only-
a cool bro to Min.
Yeah, it wasn't really cool, bro, to Min. I can't make any more comments on this because I don't know their ages and I don't want to look it up.
Yeah, the one weird thing is that like this guy shows up and starts tutoring this girl and like almost immediately falls for her, which like looking ahead into the movie when they start talking more about like their future plans and stuff, I don't know if that was on purpose. Like I don't know if that was part of the bigger plan, but like if it wasn't, it's just weird. Hi,
Sorry.
Brienne. if that wasn't part of the big
She
cut this.
she became one of the she became one of the Oscars. She like went into his arms.
She snuggled up with Bong Joon-ho.
As we all should.
Yeah, honestly. If that wasn't just like an extra like setup for like the plan going forward, and like it is a bit bizarre that he just shows up and he's like, I'm in love with this girl. I'm gonna ask her out when she goes to college.
Yeah, was I like the only person that wasn't like in my head? I was like, okay, I hear where you're coming from, but maybe you could just marry this really rich girl if that's already your plan, and you don't have to work.
Yeah, just like skip the rest of the shit. Just like,
Yeah.
well, it's like it's
do
a
that all the time.
slow,
Yeah,
it's a
that's
slow
my plan.
burn. You gotta
I know.
plant the seeds before you
Because in the
sow
movie
them.
couldn't happen.
Yeah.
I guess he needs like some with going along with what you guys are saying is that they technically do the jobs competently that they, kind of fake the credentials to be part like to do, and it's kind of like they
Right.
don't. The only difference between them and someone who they would hire to do the job is just like some reference saying that they can,
Yeah.
like some already inside, but they like are the same. They're the same competency level.
Right.
Yeah. So this is kind of where we get to we start to get into the heat of it. So now at this point, all of them have assumed their roles with this family. We got the father is the driver, the mother is like the maid cook person, the son is the tutor, and the daughter is the art therapist. When the Parks leave on a camping trip, this is where it all starts to kick off. The Kims revel in the luxuries of the house. Moon Gwang, so they're just, this is really cool, interesting because they're like experiencing this luxury more unadulterated than they have prior to this, like just being working for these people. And
Yeah.
the whole time I'm thinking, I'm like, man, they're really messing this place up pretty crazily.
Mhm.
You know, like I'm like, there's not a whole lot of concern for like, because like I'm just putting myself in their shoes. I would be like super stressed about
I would
like,
be so careful. Yeah.
yeah, I'd be like, what if they came home? What if, you know, like I wouldn't want to ruin like the bag that I've established here. Like I really want to keep this.
Yeah.
So
That's
it's
that
interesting, but like
hubris.
obviously I'm not in their shoes, so that's
That's that hubris.
the hubris.
They got their bag, and what else is in this? What's in this bag? It's money, but it's also hubris.
It's also
What else?
ton
What else
of
is in this
snacks.
bag? Wings made of wax and feathers. And what else is in this bag? A sun! No!
sun.
My wings!
My wings.
No, they told me not to fly too close to the sun, but they didn't warn me that the sun would be in a bag.
Yeah,
along
why'd you
with my
pack all-
money.
Who put all this stuff together?
But this
Who put this sun in my
this is
bag?
my worst lunch box ever. She enters. So we have the Kims are reveling in the luxuries of this house, and Moon Gwang appears at the door, telling Chung Suk that she left something in the basement. Okay, again, going off of this, I'm thinking I'm seeing a horror movie. This is really where I thought that this is gonna like really like escalate, because it's like it's pouring down, raining. It's the middle of the night, and this lady just shows up, and she's like, "Yeah, can I just get something out of the basement?" And we know, she knows. She's like, "Yo, brother to brother, like I know you fucked me over.
Yeah.
Again, I know what happened." And she's like, "Can I just get it? Go into the basement real quick." And you're like, something fuckery is about, and you know it, but and they kind of know it. I feel like. But yeah, obviously they let her go, and then it's like this is where it really just goes so bonkers from here, because she just runs to the basement like in a hurry, in a panic, and we're just like, what the fuck is happening? Why is she running to the basement? She enters, revealing a hidden.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
it's really
let
funny
me
that
just
she just
say-
like doesn't she just like climb up into the?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, she's trying to push it.
She goes horizontal trying to push
You are
it.
going to bust your back trying to open it that way. But two, like they for the rest of the movie, they should all think they're lucky stars that is one quiet giant cabinet because the thing is constantly being opened and closed.
Yeah.
So they so she reveals a hidden base entrance under the basement to an underground bunker created by the architect and previous homeowner. There, Moon Gwang's husband, Gyun-se, which is the best character in the movie, has been secretly living over there for over 4 years, hiding from loan sharks. Chung Suk refuses Moon Gwang's pleas to help Gyun-se remain in the bunker, but the eavesdropping Kims accidentally reveal themselves. Doesn't one of them fall down the stairs?
Yeah, like
They all fall
one of
down
them
the
like
stairs,
their foot slips and it.
It's
knocks
so
those to the
comically
ground.
like.
Yeah.
Moon Gwang
and
films them
but
on their phone and threatens to expose their ruse to the Park family.
Yeah, so this is another like big scene of like poor v poor, you know. And initially, when Moon Gwang thinks it's just the mother in the house, so she's like sis, like help me out. I promise. Like I'm just want to make sure he's getting fed. And the mom's like, I'm not your sis. I'm gonna call the police. But once they're found out, and she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, sis." Is Moon Gwang's like, "Don't call me sis, you filthy bitch."
Yeah.
I'm not your sissy bitch.
Like,
I like you said poor
But
v poor, and I thought you said 4v4, and I was like,
Yeah.
team deathmatch, poor v poor.
but all like this idea, instead of seeing someone else who's clearly struggling as you were not so long ago, you now think you're in the position that you're in is you've earned that you're owed your new position, and
Right.
to help out someone beneath you who is in that position is no longer anything of your concern.
Right.
Which it really does. That's like a huge part of the commentary on like class struggle and like class consciousness is like the biggest fight against having any sort of type of like economic reform in a country, which yeah, is we're so happy it's only South Korea that has these problems.
Only.
Oh, yeah.
Only. One of the biggest problems for that is that when someone, it's very hard for someone who is dealing with the trauma of like that comes with being like lower income in a country like that. Could only imagine for a lot of people, and then they get out of that situation, and they, because of that trauma, and because of the the societal pressure and the honor that is bestowed on people that are higher upper income, you have a defense mechanism that often happens is that you believe, and you have to believe, that you earned what you've got. There's this misconception, I am not lucky, because if I was lucky, then that means that discredits all of the hard work I've been doing, because then it was worth nothing if this was just luck that got me in this position. So it's like a defense mechanism is to say, well, I worked hard for this, so therefore I earned it. And it's both of those things are true, but they are not correlated. You did earn this. You worked hard for this, but it was luck that you have this because everyone else is also working that hard. And when you have, and so people, the hardest part about class consciousness and fighting this is being aware that, okay, if everyone else, like if everyone that does get to a position of power from lower income is built into the system, that they will change sides, and they will believe they earned it, therefore believing other people need to earn it, and that because you did it, it's some sort of anecdote that other people can do it too, and it's not the case.
It's the classic when you see other people not working and in need of assistance, they're just being lazy. But when you need it, like, well, you're actually just down on your luck. You're not like the rest of them.
Yeah, and like it's also the fact that like this kind of economic system just encourages a lack of empathy, or not even so much encourages it. It just breeds that lack of empathy, because you get to a point where you spend your whole life being self-conscious about your income and your capital, that any threat to that income, any threat to those gains will, you're gonna be hostile towards. So like even at the highest levels, like, realistically, like no sympathy on my end for like very like the fucking 1% or whatever. But
Hey,
like
just be nice to
no
him.
sympathy.
Hey, Jared's right here.
no sympathy for the 1%, but also like they're just as affected by it as like those of us on the bottom rung are, because like in the same way that a millionaire will look at someone who's the blue collar working class saying like, oh, the rich need to start paying taxes, and I work my ass off like 80 hours a week just to get by, and these guys, and the millionaires are like, oh, that's not me. They're so worried about their own income and their own capital that like suggestions like that and things like that come off as hostile. In the same way that happens, like lower middle class people who are just barely getting by might pass a homeless person on the street and show hostility towards them for the same reason, right? Like if those people are just like asking for $1 or a fucking cigarette or whatever, that's gonna come off as hostility to what this person already has, however little it might be. So like it's just a whole economic system that's like, hey, what this capital that you have is your lifeline, and if you lose that, you are legitimately fucked. And so it creates an entire social system of people just being like, this is the money I have, this is the capital I have, and I need to protect it at all costs and get more at all costs.
It's so funny to look at, because you're like, why? Like, you see so many people that are like, sharing is caring. Like, no one is showing that. No one is demonstrating that.
Yeah, sharing is caring when you're like 5 and you have a toy that you like. But, like,
oh wait, I misspoke. Sharing is caring as long as the person that you're sharing with knows they're indebted to you. Then.
Yeah. As long as that person earned it. Yeah.
Yeah, why
Or
don't you
will
guys
earn it.
share with me a social safety net? Maybe
Exactly.
share with me some healthcare or income.
Can you
Hey,
share me
Congress?
health? Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, Congress,
Um,
sharing is caring.
Did I mention this is a comedy podcast?
Yeah, right.
The parks
Sometimes.
sometimes it's not. You know what? That's
Sometimes.
okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of
Okay.
betas trying to explore life through movies.
Yeah.
We're all just a bunch of
Here's
believable
a spoiler for the audience because the next two episodes after this, I think, are also gonna be for movies that are just good. We may not have as many funny things to say, but after that, I promise we'll get back to doing terrible movies that we could just rip apart.
If you want us to watch a terrible movie, you know how you can make us watch one? By fucking telling us. I've told you
Suggesting it.
how. Suggest it. Otherwise, we're gonna watch only good movies. Then what's gonna happen to our podcast? Probably the same things. It's not gonna be any different.
Yeah.
If you
Recommend
don't
this to
tell-
your
if you
friends.
don't-
God damn it.
If you don't give us silly movies to watch, this podcast is going to end up being so fucking boring. Please.
We have
We're
no other
begging
things
you.
to offer.
This is all we have.
We're from New Jersey. Shit talking is the only thing we're good at.
Just after 10 weeks in a row, just watching the best films ever made. Like, I'm miserable.
That's the Jersey spirit.
Yeah.
Being fucking miserable all the time.
The park's called to tell they'll be returning early due to severe rainstorm. The Kims scramble to clean up the home and subdue Moonkwang. Moonkwang and Gungsei. Sorry, that was just a really funny way of saying that. To subdue Moonkwang and Gungsei before the parks arrive, they trap Gungsei and Moonkwang in the bunker. Mrs. Park reveals that to Chun-suk that Da-sung had a seizure-inducing traumatic experience on the previous birthday when he saw a ghost, actually Gungsei, emerging from the basement at night.
There's a lot of foreshadowing with him being in the basement. Like the picture the son's drawing is clearly him.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And also,
The
he's complaining about the maid, and he was like, oh, she eats enough for two. She's feeding him.
Yeah, I remember that. Yep.
I
Little
didn't
thing
even
you
pick up
get.
on that.
Your second watch around, you're like, ooh.
It's a little,
Yeah.
little second. Never mind.
That's what I did on my second viewing of the film. I elbowed the guy next to me, like, dude, foreshadowing.
Pay attention to
Yeah,
this.
see? You remember that from the first time? Crazy.
same random stranger.
Yeah. Dude, why are you here again? Oh yeah, the Leo
Why am
meme.
I here again? Why are you here?
Yeah, why are you both here again?
Foreshadowing.
Chekhov's foreshadowing.
Chekhov's
Mrs. Parker
foreshadowing.
reveals.
It's cannibalizing itself.
Yeah.
Chekhov's gun is foreshadowing.
That's a real like meta literary joke.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it. That was the intention. That was the intention when I foreshadowed it earlier.
When do you think the Chekhov's foreshadowing will resolve?
Any day now. Hee-jung, Ki-taek, and Kiwoo hide under a table within earshot of Mr. and Mrs. Park, who have sex on the sofa nearby. So I was going to say reach around earlier, and then I held off on that joke because the reach around happened just now. Chekhov's reach around. They overhear Mrs.
It's
Park.
to come up later.
Mr.
It doesn't
Park.
resolve.
No, it was when I set it up earlier by me holding off my joke. Chekhov's not saying it. Chekhov's not saying it.
That's a different literary device at this point. All right, you just acknowledge that every literary device is not Chekhov's something.
No, it's a thing. We're claiming that.
Chekhov said like
I
the
would
one
say
thing
it's a-
about the gun.
I would say it's a simile,
he said
like as
more,
to
but-
what I said earlier.
You know what? Just for hearing the phrase Chekhov's reach around, I'll give it a pass.
Thank you. Thank you. I really needed that.
Good B and the B out of context moment.
That's clip right there. They overhear
anybody on
Mr.
you-
Parks. I need to put those on TikTok.
If anybody on YouTube is so inclined, just do an out of context clip compilation from our podcast so far. I'm sure you've got
Any of our
plenty of them.
diehard fans.
Yeah, any
Dan?
of those. Yeah, you know what, Dan? You want to take care of that for us, bud? You refused to send us a fucking email, so this is the least you could do, I think.
Listen, we can't scare off Dan, okay? He's the only one we got. Okay. They overhear Mr. Park's comment about he takes odor. That was funny. That they're just like, like something smells terrible in here.
Yeah.
And the Kims escape.
Also,
There's more commentary on that.
There is more commentary on that because I was watching it and I realized that like that whole thing. It's like oh, it's like the subway smell. It's like the same smell that people have on the subway. It's like very clearly correlating like how like disconnected these people are from society. Where like it's like you're not smelling like Mr. Kim in particular. You're not smelling like the subway in particular. You're smelling like a lower class smell. You're like he's just saying he's just saying the quiet part out loud and being like, this is a poor people smell.
Yeah,
it's like,
basically.
I mean, like
there's not something they can avoid. The Kims escape and find their flat flooded. This is another interesting part, right, where they were just living like luxury, pretending to be them, and then they have this rude awakening, this is another reminder to like what they've done to the other people in this movie so far, but also like the reminder of the class struggle is like at any moment. This is another little, and then I'll be funny again, I promise. And is they like you have this with like class issues and class consciousness. You have the lower class is always going to be given this idea of hope, but it's important to know that you will never be upper class. Even if you gain wealth, you will never be upper class unless you are given it. And this is the point that is made note in this movie, is that at any moment, the upper class will remind you that they can take that away from you. And so, like, when you're looking, there is the working class and the owning class, and as long as you're not an owner, you will always be able to have that taken from you. And so that's what this is the reminder of, is like they were living in that moment. They were finally, had this feeling of being in the owning class, but in a split second, as they return back to their home, they find it flooded with sewer water, and they have to shelter in a gymnasium. And it's like, this is a reminder that like you are not the owning class. You are not going to be the owning class. As long as you're not an owner, you can feel rich for a while, but at any moment, if at their whim, you can be thrown back into the working class, because that's who you are. And that's like listen, and this is and if you're wondering why I'm hearkening about this, are you an owner?
Yeah.
Just look inside, because there's so many people think they're doing well, but that does not mean it can't be better. So just think about that. I'm done.
And
John.
And crypto does not count. You do not own crypto.
But my NFTs, my monkey pick.
Right click save.
God damn it!
Right
I paid
click save
millions.
as.
Stop.
You can't do that. Please.
Oh, there was like a YouTube video I watched, or just like it was a clip of it, and it was just like a guy explaining that copy and pasting NFTs doesn't actually steal them. And I'm like, I think you're missing the point.
Yeah.
He's like, you don't actually own it when you do that.
Yeah, crypto bros are so quick to be like, yeah, but it's different because mine is minted on the blockchain. It's like,
I'll never finance off my I'll never get financed off my JPEG.
Yeah, and how much did you pay for that JPEG? Like the equivalent of like 15,000 US dollars. Yeah.
You can't take a screenshot of that. You're not gonna be able to make money off that.
Yeah.
Sir, I'm gonna guarantee you they're worth the same. The next day, Mrs. Park hosts a house party for Da Song's birthday with the Kim's family's assistance. Kyu enters the bunker with the scholar's rock to find Gyung-se. Finding Moon Gwang has died from a concussion he received during the brawl. So yeah, we have this like basically this is one of the like more like tougher moments in the movie, is like during the rainstorm. Again, you can be set back at any moment. You can be thrown back to your place, at any moment.
Yeah.
They have like them fighting over each other, and they get pushed down the stairs, and she, hits her head and dies. And so basically that whole night, the husband is just like living, like living there with the dead body of his wife, just like fuck. And the other, they've gone back to their place. They're living in a terrible situation, and so now they have to bring it together to just be like, oh, we have to pretend like our problems don't exist to serve these rich people. So
it's like this movie, like that point where I would say it's probably when they discover. I think it's when like the housekeeper comes by and like they discover like the whole basement thing.
yeah,
I think that's the point in the movie where the whole film just does like a complete 180.
Yeah.
And, like it starts getting really fucking dark really quick.
And
Yeah.
It's pretty much turns once she kicks her down the stairs, because you see her. It has this like she hits her head. It's like kind of gruesome.
Yeah, and
there's
then it's just
like,
like-
it's like a very like it's a very sickening moment, and it's
I
like
know,
oh,
it's hard
shit,
to
it's just not
watch.
real. Yeah.
yes, it's rough. So Kiwoo enters the bunker with Scholar's Rock to find Gyung-se. Finding Moon Gwang has died from a concussion she received during the brawl. He is attacked by a deranged Gyung-se. Tracks, right? I mean, I would be in the same boat. He bludgeons his head with a Scholar's Rock and escapes, leaving Kiwoo lying in a pool of blood at the entrance to the basement. Seeking to avenge Moon Gwang, Gyung-se stabs Ki-jung with a kitchen knife in front of horrified guests. This is like the craziest moment when he just comes out of there and he's just walking with like a bloody knife, like, or just grabs a knife and he's just like limping out like bloodied to the like birthday party. And this is the first point where it starts to highlight the fact that this is a life, that this is existing in the same world that these rich people exist in. This is existing in the same world. But up until now, they have been able to ignore it because they've had that luxury.
Yeah, it's such a cool visual motif, that moment of like this dude walking through this nice ass house with a knife during this time where all these people are celebrating and having a party. Like it's such a cool visual motif, because like it's that point where that metaphor of like, the poor people in the basement becomes like reaches its peak, because like now you have this like poorest of the poor guy who's been literally in the basement the whole time now surfaces and is gonna like, climactically bring the resolution of this conflict.
Yeah, and it has
so it's that moment of like, the poor people in the basement are gonna fucking come after you now. Like,
well, and it has an even bigger meta commentary with that I'll get to in a second when we get to the resolution of this conflict. So we have this. He comes out with the kitchen knife. He stabs Ki-jung. Da-sung suffers another dramatic seizure, and after seeing him, and a struggle breaks out until Chung-suk fatally impales Gyung-se with a barbecue skewer. While Ki-taek attends to Ki-jung, Mr. Park orders Ki-taek to drive Da-sung to the hospital. So this is real quick. This is like this moment is one of the most important moments in that conflict. Because we have this birthday party and we have this poor man that is coming out and like attacking this birthday party, and when we see this happen, the only thing that matters to the Park family, and this shows from the beginning, the only thing that mattered is them. So this is happening, and at the end of the day, you are still working class, and you are still supposed to prioritize my well-being because I am paying for that. And
this person who they hired is like bleeding out on their lawn, and the only thing they're thinking about is like, we need to get our son to the hospital.
Right. So like that, and that's like, it's such a, this is something that is like a joke or not a joke in the movie, but like this is something that's like being like brought up in the movie. This is real that people deal with. Like, oh, I couldn't go to the funeral of this loved one because I had to work a shift, and I had to take care of people at freaking Outback Steakhouse for today, so I can pay rent. Like, these are things that people deal with all the day. So it's like an exaggerated version of it, but it's also not too exaggerated, which is crazy. Really crazy, really crazy. So we have that happen. That's a big scene. And then after this, in the chaos, Kitake, upon seeing Mr. Park's disgusted reaction to Gunsei's order, angrily kills him with a knife. So this is, again, another elevation.
Yeah, that's like the next thing is that, like, not only is this guy like tunnel vision only concerned about his son and not about them, but like he goes to grab the keys and he smells the guy and he like recoils.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, this dude smells like shit. And it's like again, like, just saying the quiet part out loud, man. Like, you just don't. And it's like, which like it makes sense. It tips off the dad, and he's like, you know what? No, fuck this guy.
Yeah, I have an interesting interpretation of this. Something that like you notice throughout the movie is that even though they do like lie to the Park family, they don't actually do anything like bad to them specifically.
Yeah.
They don't mess with them. The only people they fuck with are other people in their like situation. They get the driver fired. They get the housekeeper fired.
Right.
And then later the people they fight, physically abuse, are just other, poor people like them.
Right.
So the way I see it is when he's like, the reason he stabs Mr. Park is that he's realizing this whole time, he's like, we're all just fighting each other. This guy's like on this other like level, and he doesn't actually care about us.
Right.
And he's like, now I'm going to bring it to him. And he goes, and
it's the moment that he becomes class conscious. Literally, I think actually. It's probably the moment he becomes like, oh, it's like, you are the enemy. Yeah. You've been the enemy the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. And so obviously Mr. Park orders Kitake to, so he stabs him. Kitake flees, leaving the rest of the Kim family behind. Weeks later, Kiwoo is recovering from a brain operation. He and Chung-suk are convicted of fraud and put on probation. Ki-jung has died from her injuries.
The minute that Kiwoo wakes up and just keeps laughing at the lawyer and authorities, I'm like, this whole thing was a goddamn Joker origin story, wasn't it?
Oh, it was all a dream.
Society.
Society
the whole time.
Something society.
In the original cut of the movie, he woke up and he had damage tattoo across his forehead.
The grill.
Yeah, in a different cut, he woke up and Robert Pattinson was just staring at him menacingly.
Yeah. Beats the shit out of him.
Yeah, for waking up. Poor. How dare you wake up poor? Which is different. Given
that line of logic we just followed, can we all agree that the Batman could absolutely take place in this universe?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wait, just like Batman.
We're 10 years away from an actual Batman. I truly believe that.
Batman would show up to this fucking hospital room without any of the authorities or the lawyers there, and you would just beat the shit out of this guy.
Oh yeah. Where's your dad?
What'd you do, fraud?
Where's your father?
Yeah.
Gunsei is assumed to be, and it's so this is okay. So Ki-jung has died from her injuries, and Kitake, wanted from the authorities, can't be found. This is where we get to one of the biggest meta commentaries of the entire thing. And this is, we as a viewer, we see this whole thing play out, right? We see all these people struggling and fighting with each other. And then we see Gunsei, who's been forced to live in a bunker for 4 years under this rich people's home and being supported by his wife. He has come out, he's killed these people for pretty from his position. He had a reason, right? He was not insane. He was motivated by the loss of his wife, who has been taking care of him painstakingly for 4 years. He's been, and all of this is like not because of the Park family. You know, there's a lot of other factors, but like, you know, they're a big part of that problem. And what happens immediately after, and we see this after he's woken up, is Gunsei is assumed to be an insane homeless man, and neither his nor Kitek's motives for the murders are known. And this is like, when this happens, I'm like, this is one of the biggest points that they're trying to get Bong Joon-ho is trying to get across, is like, when you see on the news, homeless man does X, or, you know, this person has unknown motives, or this crazy person, and it's like, this is like, you this whole thing makes sense when you're not looking at it from upper class lens, and the upper class lens is never going to understand what it is. They're gonna be like, yeah, I don't know, person was crazy, you know, they came up and stabbed me, like, crazy person. And it's like such a crazy, insane, like, these rhetorics are so used.
Yeah. They were poor. They were probably on drugs, or, you know, whatever.
Yeah. So it was just interesting to see, like, after it's all said and done, we've seen the heartache that all of these people have gone through, and then it's all summarized in the media owned by wealthy people to say, insane person. We don't know why they did what they did.
Random act of violence.
Random act of violence.
Wait, did the authorities never figure out that, you know, with Kitek was like the dad of those of like Kiwoo? Like,
no, they figured.
Do they out. Not? They do figure that out.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, because because at the end, the kid had authorities tailing him. Mm-hmm. They had like detectives tailing him for a while. So like,
yeah. I guess they were looking for him.
Yeah, so Kiwoo spies on the Park's home, now occupied by a German family unaware of its history, and sees a message in Morse code from a flickering light. Kitek, who escapes into the bunker, has buried Moon Guang in the garden and sends the message every day, hoping Kiwoo will see it. Still living in their basement flat with his mother, Kiwoo writes a letter to Kitek, vowing to earn the money to purchase the house and reunite with his dad. So it's like... So I personally am not sure if it's... Like, we see at the end that he, like, earns the money, he buys the house, and I think
that's in his head.
Yeah, I think that it could be in his head, because I would be kind of shocked if it wasn't, almost in the sense that, like, because there's only two ways you can take that, is like, his impression still in the end is that regardless of how I feel about the current circumstances, my only solution for my family to be okay is to be rich, to be the owning class. Like, that's my only solution to get out of this problem at the end, despite everything that happened, is disenfranchised as you can be with the game. The only way to be fine and survive is to play the game. So it's like, but it's crazy, because I'm like, man, I don't want to, like, it'd be funny if it was just like, oh yeah, I could be rich this whole time. I could have just, the ending solution was to work hard.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps, kid.
Yeah.
Why didn't I
he
think
finally
of that?
he finally did it at the end.
That sequence of him, like that long sequence of, like, you know, I'm gonna, like, you know, I'm gonna go to university, I'm gonna get a job, I'm gonna get married, I'm gonna make a lot of money, I'm gonna buy that house, and then all you have to do is walk up the steps, and there's that long sequence of him going up to the home, and he's dressed to the fucking nines, and it shows this empty house and all their stuff in it, and the dad walks up the stairs, and then it cuts to him back in the old basement house, same as always. That part fucking hurts. That ending hurts to watch, because you get this, like, grand illusion, and you're like, wow, this is such, like, a happy kind of resolution to this whole story, and then it snaps you right back out of it, and you're back on the ground, and it's like, fuck, man, that sucks.
Yeah. I think that's kind of that's why this movie's good. It's just like, it really does stick to its premise. It doesn't try to, like, make the audience feel happy and resolved about an ending. I do truly believe that the best art comes with a lack of consideration for the audience sometimes. Which, like, Yeah, maybe, and which I was thinking about, maybe after The Last of Us season 1 ends, we can maybe we do a bonus episode or something on that. That'd be kind of cool because I do have thoughts on that. Because there's very similar discussion there, about stuff like that. But anyway, that's a good way to wrap the movie. It's a tough movie to not. Like I said, it's a good movie, which means when it's a good movie, we're probably gonna have more intellectual discussions.
Put on our cinephile hats.
Look
You guys can't see it, but my brain is huge right now. I have a huge head.
His brain does do that.
Tom is fucking brain blasting all over the place right now.
That's why
my keyboard's sticky.
Can't see. Pause.
I actually told Martin Scorsese that we were talking about Parasite tonight, and he just smiled at me and nodded. And
Yeah, if you didn't notice, he was our special guest today. He was our special guest today. He called in for a second. I accidentally cut it out.
Yeah, Martin Scorsese said, "Yep, good movie." Those are his thoughts.
He said, "I came thinking I'd see a Parasite." What a shock!
Yeah.
He was like, I thought it was going to be a horror movie.
It's going to be one of them, but I got one of those M. Night Shyamalan twists.
That's not what Martin Scorsese sounds like.
Turns out it was just the monster was capitalism the whole time.
Turns out it was capitalism. I don't know what Scorsese looks or sounds like.
The real monster is the wealthy.
The real monster's the friends we made along the way.
The real terror is class exploitation.
I just want to look up Bong Joon-ho's net worth. Does anyone else want to do that? Does anyone scared?
I think that's gonna make me sad.
Yeah.
I prefer we not.
And who funds this movie? Like who? Yeah. You should look up like how many companies are invested in this movie and made a profit.
So here's my question. Right now that you bring that up, Burke, what are your thoughts on this story, given your "Don't Look Up" rant a couple weeks ago, where you said that the most annoying part of "Don't Look Up" was that like the people in this movie and the people who make the movie are all basically benefit from not sticking to the arguments that they're making and not doing anything to help.
Okay, so that's a really good point. So
would you then be on the side of Bong Joon-ho is rich, therefore it diminishes the message of the movie? I'm not making this argument. I'm just doing what every white guy does best, and I'm being a devil's advocate for a second.
So one of the differences for this one versus one of the big differences is the delivery of the message. This movie is very well made, and the message that it's delivering is something that's going to actually be thought provoking and be like, like this is movies delivering a message in a way that any person can watch this movie, not originally know what they're getting into, and get the message and be like, that's something to think about, right? It's a movie that when you watch this movie, you could be anybody, right? You could be someone that is wealthy, and then you'd be like, okay, maybe theoretically it could open their feeble minds to think about the implications of what this movie is saying, right? But the barrier to entry is small because you can watch this movie without knowing. You're not. It's well written to the point where the message isn't the baseline what you're watching. Because I know so many people that watch movies literally, and they come out of this movie and they're just like, they don't see the themes, they don't see the messages. They're like, that was crazy. This family just was stealing from these rich people and faking their, and they're gonna just come out with that, and they're gonna be like, that was a fun movie for that reason. But it's still putting that message of, I know, right? But those people, but the movie still, the message is still there, and it's still getting put into their minds. With Don't Look Up, it's pandering. It's the message. Yeah. The movie is about how Republicans bad and climate change good or not good, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Climate change awareness good, right? And but it's it's literally like it's not even satire, it's an SNL skit, and I don't like SNL for all either that much. And but like it's literally like it's just it's pandering. It's saying, look, we care, here is us caring. And like it's not, but it's not delivering a message, it's not teaching anything, it's not providing any value, and most importantly, it has the highest barrier to entry for anyone that this message needs to reach. It will never reach those people. If anything, it does more harm than good, because it pushes those people even further radical. Because there's nothing more like radicalizing than having people like yell at you that you're wrong, which is why I do it on this podcast all the time. But it's just literally like it's such a like it's made for Hollywood elites to feel good. This movie was like made to make a good movie with a message, and like whether or not like but the alternative, and I don't know like what Bong Joon-ho's like life growing up was, because like it would be telling if like he grew up and like as you know this lower income individual made it out, and he's like, I'm using what I have now to send that message, right?
Yeah.
Versus like I highly doubt most of the Don't Look Up people came from rags to riches stories. I highly doubt it. I don't know about Leo. I don't know about, Jennifer Lawrence. I don't know. That's not the vibes I'm getting from them. I can say that much.
Fair enough.
Giving high school popular kids.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
well said.
Thank you. I'll give my final thoughts on this movie, and then we'll kind of just do a little circle here. I love this movie. I am also of the phase that I think it deserved Best Picture that year. I do. But I think there was one other movie particular for me that deserved Best Picture as well, and I preferred a little bit more. And I think Jared knows which one it is, but I'll let the other two guess first if you can guess what movie came out in 2019 that I think deserved Best Picture, which would be a great one to watch on the podcast for the podcast.
2019?
Is it Endgame? Is it
It's
Endgame came out in
Avengers
2019?
Endgame. No, it did. But no.
I trust Burke enough to know that he wouldn't, in all good conscience, genuinely think that.
I think it might not be, but that's the only thing I can think of that came out in 2019 that Burke really likes.
Okay, but speaking of huge blockbusters that are Oscar sweeps, I wish that I was around to like watch the Return of the King Oscars. Like I was around, but like I wish I was. Like,
yeah, where were you?
I wish I was old enough to like watch the Return of the King. Do you realize? I don't know if you guys know this. Return of the King, not only being a massive box office success, has the most Oscars of any movie.
Really?
Return of the King literally won 11 Oscars out of 11 that it was nominated for in its year.
That's insane.
The biggest Oscar sweep of all time was the Return of the King, and I would have loved, dude. I would have.
Is that the movie for 2019 somehow?
No, it's not. The movie's Jojo Rabbit.
Oh,
Fucking
I haven't
love
seen
Jojo
that.
Rabbit. The movie's so
For some reason, I really thought you were gonna go with The Lighthouse.
No,
I
that's the
did.
one we should watch on the.
We will be
podcast
adding that to the
episode.
schedule.
That is. For
I
sure.
do need to see The Lighthouse.
Yeah, wait till that's
still
an
have not
episode
watched
because
Lighthouse.
it'll be so funny. I love it. It's a good movie.
The Lighthouse is like my kind of movie too, and I have not seen it.
Yeah, it's a movie.
I think
I
sometime
like
next
light.
month,
I
the
like
film has a movie
houses.
coming out, so we'll schedule it for then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so my final thoughts. I really, really loved this movie. I think that it has a very important message to tell, and it does a really good job of reaching that audience. I do not know what is my highest rating on the pod, Jared.
Highest rating on the pod. You gave Midsummer a 9.5. Also
Okay.
a 2019 movie.
I'm gonna go ahead and throw a
That
9.
should've won.
I'm gonna go throw 9.75 on the pod.
Ooh.
I gotta hold off on 10s, just in case.
Yeah, we're scared. We're scared of 10s.
I'm scared of 10s. Yeah, for sure. So that's my rating. I'll pass it on to you, Jared.
This movie is fantastic. I mean, it's I don't think there's anything like bad I could possibly say about this movie. In terms of storytelling, acting, cinematography, score, like it all really hits. I guess like maybe like I'll knock off half a point just because like it's dark, it's sad, and sometimes you're just not always in the mood for that. So I can't, in good conscience, say perfect 10 out of 10 because, as you've said many times, Burke, you have to want to really rewatch something over and over again to give it a 10 out of 10. I think.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give Parasite the nice coveted 9.5.
Yeah,
Nice.
9.5.
I'm
Is this
jealous.
the part where is this where I tell you what I would have given Best Picture to over Parasite?
Yeah,
Oh,
There's
yeah,
like
yeah.
six of the nominees.
I already know what it
I would've-
is,
Please.
but
tell
I'm
us.
surprised.
It's Avengers Endgame, isn't it?
No, it's not.
So Once Upon a
I
Time in
would've
Hollywood.
given it Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, 1917, Marriage Story, Little
Oh.
Women, and Jojo Rabbit. I think all.
Marriage Story was so
What-
fucking good.
I've only seen Parasite amongst those.
1917 was incredible.
It was so
1917
good.
deserved an did it get any Oscar that year
It
at
won
all?
cinematography, I know.
Which
but I
it
can't
deserved.
remember.
Yeah.
That one
It did deserve it.
undoubtedly
Yeah.
deserved that. Yeah.
And
I'm okay
it won
with
visual effects too, I think. Or
Yeah.
I think I miss memory. What?
I'm okay with
God,
letting it
what
have
the
one of
Oscars?
those, one or both of those. I'm okay with letting it have, even if it got snubbed for Best Picture. That's fair, I think.
Yeah, I would have given. I personally enjoy all those movies more than Parasite, but they're all of similar caliber. Like 2019 is just a unbelievably goated year
Yeah,
for movies.
it was a really good year. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Popcorn Noah.
Yeah, I was like, who's next?
Yeah, I also really like this movie. The like all the characters were like incredibly charming and well written. The for some reason, I don't know why, but for some reason the fact that it was in a foreign language made it more it kind of made it more, oh my god, cut this, I'm blanking.
Make the noise.
I won't
then.
know unless I hear the noise. Okay, thanks.
I'm gonna dismiss that point entirely because I really don't know what I was going for in the first place.
What is the vibe you're trying to get with the word?
Like
A synonym.
It was
Like,
just more
well-
Riz.
well, like I was going to say that like the fact that it's in a foreign language kind of makes it more convincing. Like it almost helps this keep the story grounded. Like I don't know if I would have gotten attached to the story, in the same way if it was in English. But also I don't know what that. In me saying that, I don't know what that means. I don't know what I'm talking about. So I'm just going to dismiss that point entirely
Fair enough.
because it doesn't make any sense. Yeah, I love the message. I thought the cinematography was really, really good. The only complaint that I have about this movie, I do have one little complaint. I believe I found a plot hole in the movie, which is that after Basement Man comes up, kills the son, and then
Okay.
goes off and starts a rampage in the yard, right?
Yep.
We see at the end of that whole chaos, the dad, kills Mr. Park and then runs away, and he ends up going back down into the basement. When basement guy leaves, the door is open. When Mr. Kim comes back around and goes in the basement, the door is still open. And in between those 2 points, the daughter is looking for English tutor kid, finds him, and grabs him and leaves. So she saw that the basement door was open. She saw that there was a secret passage there. And at some
No.
point during police investigations, and she must have been questioned at some point.
Right.
She never thought to say, "Hey, there was a secret door in our basement that I
But
didn't
it's
know was there
heavily
before."
implied that she's not the type of person that would notice those things. Also, shock.
I
Movie's
mean,
ruined. 0 out of 10. I'm changing my score.
I guess, but that
Maybe she
sounds like hand waving. That sounds like
Maybe-
you're hand waving logic away.
I don't know.
I
It's
know,
heavily implied that she misses a lot of key details in her life.
Yeah, she saw her love of her life lying on the ground with his head bleeding, and she's just like, I gotta go and take
That is
him
also
away.
true.
Powers through, puts the whole team on her back, runs out with him. Doesn't notice a door open. Okay, it's fine.
I
I'm
don't know.
sorry
no,
she
it
didn't
sounds
notice
like
this
you're nitpicking.
door, Noah. Sorry
I'm
there's-
not nitpicking.
What is this? Cinema sins?
Oh, shut up. I'm just saying this is a question that I want answered. But yeah, that doesn't detract from my feelings about the movie at all. I think it's really, really good. In the same,
Does for me
kind of
now.
in the same way that I felt about Glass Onion. Honestly, just like mostly just kind of the messages that were in there and the way that it was written was all, I think, really, really good. I think I gave Glass Onion a 9.5.
You gave Glass Onion 9.5.
Yeah, as did I Pig. Gave Pig a 9.5 as well. I'll keep the trend going. I'll say 9.5 for Parasite as well.
Nice.
Just quality movie.
Okay. We'll take it. You got a popcorn to someone.
Oh yeah, popcorn. Burke.
Okay.
ahead,
I have done mine, so popcorn Tom.
What? Me? Okay. Me? You guys.
Oh, stop.
I
deserve
obviously
it.
love this
You
movie.
deserve it.
I mean, it's pretty cool. I think because I usually appreciate things that talk about like class conflict, and a lot of what we're bringing up is there's interclass conflict, which would be like between the working class and like the owner class, and intra-class conflict, which would be between working class people.
Yeah.
And how we were talking about before is that they're constantly actually fighting each other rather than working together, which would be really the way out, I guess, against the owner class if it was like oppressive in some way.
Right.
And I liked that. I thought it was played really well in the movie. I liked a lot of the scenes. I liked a lot of the foreshadowing, the symbolism with the rock, like the rock, like get the rock. They get the fortune of, I guess, being able to invade the Park's home. Once the storm hits the rock is knocked off from where it was in their home. Now they lost that fortune, and now they have to fight this other family, and all this bad stuff happens. Like when they have the rock, they actually do have good fortune. I thought that was like just an interesting little point.
Oh.
Like the foreshadowing with the man of the basement and the pictures and the ghost. I liked one particular scene when he first goes into their home. He walks through this there's like this little staircase that kind of feels like a hole, but an inversion of like down the rabbit hole. It's like up the rabbit hole into this other little world.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I would give this movie a 10 out of 10. I think
10
I'm
out
pretty
of
generous with these
10.
things.
Yeah.
Can't really
Alright.
justify being hateful of 0.5. I don't really. Just to me, I don't have.
I
that
hated it by
an inclination.
0.25, I'll have you know.
Yeah, I couldn't stand 0.5 of that.
All right. So, with the four of us giving our rankings, Parasite has an average of 9.69, making it
Nice.
That's why I did it.
highest
That's
average
why
score.
I did it.
Nice.
That's not why I did it. I wish
Yeah.
it was. I wish I had that forethought.
What is the lowest average? It's Breakfast at
Morbius.
Yeah. It's gotta be Morbius, yeah.
Well, guess what, guys? Do you know how we watch this movie? We could watch other ones if you recommend them. I'm not going to tell you how. You already know how. But I'm also going to say, do you like... I've asked you this before, but I want to really be clear. So get closer.
I just got closer, even though I realized I don't have a camera.
Do you like second segments? Because
I do
boy, oh
actually, yeah.
boy, we have second segments, but not until
Oh,
after
God.
this totally sponsored ad break. All right, Jared, you want to give us our first ad here?
Okay. Hey, you. Are you struggling with your mental health and are in need of a support animal? But also, are you just a needy little person who needs attention? Well, do we have the combination for you? Introducing the emotional support blue whale. where you cannot leave. It's I don't know where else to go with this. I just thought that
With the
was
emotional
funny.
support blue whale, any big body of water that you want to swim to, if you just go in and you go, oh, oh, really loud underwater, you can find your emotional support blue whale anywhere within a radius of several thousand miles. The emotional support blue whale for just $14.99 a month can be yours, but also the oceans and also itself, because you can't own animals, but it will be around. And you can just sleep easy knowing that your emotional support blue whale's life has not changed at all since you've paid us $14.99.
And side effects may include developing a whale for soda.
That is a genuine side effect.
Yeah.
You can
And
also message us.
And
for
also because they
questions.
live in the ocean, they're probably not going to be there for you when you need it most. However,
But if you
However,
swim really
hey,
deep down,
for-
all your worries will go away when you find the
Yeah.
deep blue whale deep under the ocean.
also make sure for the low price of $79.99, we'll throw in a scuba mask and tank so you can afford to
It's actually a
to
pretty deal
breathe
for scuba
when the
gear.
when the whale dives several miles beneath the ocean. We lost it with this bit. I just thought poor blue whale was funny, and I didn't know where else to continue.
It's okay.
So just pay us for that, and
Pay us for it. Tom, do you want to talk about our second sponsor?
Has this ever happened to you? You're juggling in front of your friends and you just mess it up. You throw the first one, you
Yes.
throw the second one, and you catch neither.
That
Well,
happens to me all the time.
Introducing juggle nipples. Just attach these hands to your nipples and they will juggle exactly as you want.
Thank you,
Side
Juggle-
effects may
Juggle
include
Nipples.
Side effects may include nipple irritation, anal leakage, spontaneous combustion.
What was that second one?
I'm pretty sure our
I'm-
sponsor
Mr.
told us
Mr.
distinctively
Infomercial?
not to mention that one.
Yeah, I legally do. I am not obliged to say the side effects more than once, so it's okay.
Yeah.
Some
may say
last
those are
side
benefits. So,
Last side effect though is relatives disappearing.
because they're so impressed by your juggle nipples. And now to our second segment. Do you like second segments? Here's a second segment. After
Jared, cue the second segment music.
Real quick, I would just like to share the reason I got so excited when Jared brought up his blue whale product idea was because in the trans community there is there's like kind of like a meme. I don't know the origins of it. I don't know the lore. I would have to look it up. But there is there is a stuffed and there's a stuffed animal. It's a blue whale, and I think it's made by like IKEA or something. It's like it's Swedish in origin. And its name is Blahaj, Blahaj, and for some reason that stuffed animal is just like a little like mascot icon for the trans community.
Love it.
So I heard Jared say emotional support blue whale, and I was like,
We got our target audience.
Did you Did you say stuffed blue whale?
Yeah.
And for $21.99, you too can stuff a blue whale.
I don't like that phrasing.
Sexual support animal.
I don't like that in this place.
Nope. You do have to pay for the scuba gear sold separately.
Yes, upcharge
I don't like
them.
that. I don't like that.
Anyway, we were the Burke and the Betas talking about Parasite, but now we are the second segment Sigmas. Take it away.
Oh, that's good. That's a good name for our second segment Sigma section.
We have to have new music. Cue the music, Jared.
Sigma second.
Good music, Jared.
It's been cued. It's been cued.
Very nice.
Visual gag of just Jared was pointing. Doing the finger guns.
Finger guns.
Okay, so for this one, the reason we watched Parasite is because it is Oscar season, baby. Oscar season.
Hey.
Little finger claps for. That's not finger claps, but that was good. That was good finger claps. Little snaps. Snaps work too. Snips works as well. So in honor of Oscar season, we're gonna do a couple. We'll probably be doing a couple different Oscar-themed segments, second segments in the next upcoming ones. But this one is our own personal Oscars. We've decided to have our own created Oscar categories, and we're gonna go ahead and talk and nominate movies, and then we'll kind of just talk about which one we think deserves to win that Oscar.
I am not prepared for this in the slightest.
It's okay.
Yeah, I think I didn't make any movies, so I'll have to think about it on the spot.
Through the
Yeah,
power of
same.
editing, anything is possible.
I finished watching Parasite approximately 5 minutes before I hopped online. So
Fair
I
enough.
did not. I did not.
We are a well-oiled machine over here. Bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be okay.
This whole operation is held together by fucking Elmer's glue and duct tape.
So we're
And
gonna go
juggle
through-
nipples.
and juggle nipples as well. So we're gonna
You
go
weren't there
through
for that.
the categories that we've built, and you guys are going to submit nominated movies, and then we are going to talk about them together and decide on a victor of that award. So Jared, myself, and Noah all came up with 3 categories each. Sorry,
Wow.
sorry. I also saw, for some reason, I thought one of you didn't do it, and I thought Tom didn't, and I realized
Yeah,
Tom
it was
also
Mako.
So Mako didn't. So we have 4 different. All 4 of us each submitted 3 different categories. There's 12 categories. We're gonna try to do all of them. If it's too much, we'll cut it. I'll cut some. Don't worry, and you won't hear them. You'll never know. You'll never know aside from me saying that there's 12, and then you'll be like, "This wasn't 12," and it's because some of them were lame. So that's why.
If you're watching this and or listening to this, and there are not 12 categories, some of them were kind of fucking lame. Decided not to include them. It's a little behind the curtain.
And I
peek
can
for you.
number them, and then you can figure out whose is. No. No, the first category we have is the best post-credit scene. This is submitted by Jared. Best post-credit scene of a movie. So this could be. Are we including mid-credit scenes for this as well? For the case of Marvel movies.
Yeah.
Yes. Anything that
Alright.
happens after the film, the main film has ended. Once you see directed by insert name here, anything after that is fair game.
Okay. I'm gonna submit my nomination for the best post-credit scene to today's Oscars, and I'm gonna stick with an old classic, a little old goodie, the shawarma scene from Avengers 1. I think that's a
Ooh.
classic. You know,
Yeah.
Wasn't that not originally there?
Chekhov's shawarma. That'll come back
Chekhov
later.
shawarma, indeed.
Anyone else? Let's do a little. We'll do a little.
I'll
you know.
nominate the post-credit scene for Multiverse of Madness where Pizza Papa stops punching himself in the face and he's like, "It's done," and then it ends.
I thought that was quite funny.
Okay, that was good. Pizza Papa's.
My
good.
roommate that I watched it with, that's like the only part he laughed at.
That makes
Like,
that
That is the only
tracks.
funny part of the movie.
That is.
Anyway.
Yeah, that tracks.
My nomination is going to go to the Emoji Movie.
What was I forget?
Did it
what
have
happened.
post-credit scene?
What happened there again?
The main antagonist, Smiler, I think her name was, ends up in the like forgotten emojis basement
Oh,
playing like Go Fish with the fucking eggplant emoji or whatever the fuck.
We love to see it. That was a
Yeah.
good one. It was a solid end credit.
I am submitting the post credit scene for Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, where we meet Spider-Man 2099 because it introduces who's
Oh.
going to be a main character in the sequel, but it also has some of the fun because it recreates the 60s Spider-Man pointing meme. So it
Oh, that's a good
it
one.
serves
The
both
pointing meme.
purposes.
Oh,
Both
spoilers!
corporate-
I never saw Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh no! Now it's gonna be this 30-second segment's ruined.
All right, now we'll all vote for our own, and then it won't go anywhere.
Okay, you have to vote. You have to vote for someone else's. So I can't point. So we're gonna do a little. We could just say it in unhinged orders. I'm gonna vote Tom.
How about just one at a time? So you said Tom. I also vote for Tom's.
Well, I have to vote for. I would vote for myself. I'll vote for Jared though, since I can't vote for myself.
I will also vote for Into the Spider-Verse.
Okay, you made a tie.
God
We have a
damn
tie.
it!
This
Well-
this segment's going great so far. huh?
Okay, so then we're gonna move on. It's a tie. Great. We love ties.
It's a
at the
tie.
Oscars.
Yeah,
You know the
It's
Oscars
not
also
like
has
it
ties.
really-
Break the trophy
nothing-
in half.
Yeah, yeah.
break
You
it.
get the ass part. I get the head part.
You get 2 Oscars, but you have to make them kiss like this.
Yeah.
Okay. The next one we have is submitted by myself, which is the best Oscar for the best movie for getting you to leave the theater the quickest. Which movie just sucked so bad that you were just like, I need to get out of here? If there's other reasons, like maybe it's too scary, you could also say that. But it's the best movie for
I have a
getting you to
great
leave the
one.
theater the quickest.
I
I'd agree
have an
with you.
answer.
ahead,
I'd like to return us to the year 2019 because there was a lot of good films that year. There was one notable bad film that year. I'm talking about the live action Cats movie. Frame one. Frame one. You're ready to. You're getting out of there.
Is
Good
it a
pick.
cat's butthole?
Okay.
Good pick.
I got an unpopular one. An unpopular one, if you're catching my drift. Fucking Uncut Gems, okay? Because within a minute of the
Also
movie,
from 2019.
within a minute of the movie, your heart rate is accelerated to 5,000 beats per second, and simply staying in the theater any longer is a guaranteed heart attack, so you leave. The
I-
movie's terrible. It's good, I get it, but I don't like it.
Stressful. I see.
I submit for consideration the Adam Sandler classic "That's My Boy." I do have a story to go along with this. So
You're Adam Sandler's kid.
so
Yeah, that's about
I-
me.
I had a date one night
Oh,
with a in hindsight absolutely gorgeous girl, like way out of my league. Burke, you actually know her, which
Okay.
is I will tell you later, just so I don't fucking say anybody's name on this. But it's you'll laugh.
I can bleep it
Um,
out if you want to tell me, because I'm going to be editing this shit, but you can also tell me later if you want.
Okay, yeah, okay. I'm gonna say the name, but you have to edit it out.
Okay.
So, I was kind of quote unquote dating her at the time, and my mom wanted to meet her, so my mom took me and her out to a fucking movie date, and
Oh.
it was That's My Boy, and we left that theater so fucking fast. I think we made it about 10-15 minutes and we were fucking gone. It was like the most embarrassed I've ever been in my entire life. That movie sucks shit, especially for a date. Especially for a date.
We love to see it. We love to see it.
Yeah.
All right.
Popcorn Tom.
Tom?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Morbius just because we've said enough about it, but it
Why
is
would
like
you
it's not a so bad it's good, except for its post credit scene, which is kind of so bad it's good, but the rest of it is just boring.
Yeah,
you really
gotta
don't
stay.
want-
You gotta stay through the first 90 minutes of it to get to the good part.
Yeah.
That's fair. I am going to I like the story along with it, so I'm going with Noah's suggestion here. I'm going Noah. That's my boy.
I'm voting for Noah as well.
I'll throw mine in for Jared's.
I'll vote for Noah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. First Oscar
for
on the
me.
pod.
Let's go.
You did
The next
it.
one is coming from Tom,
Yeah.
and it is
I would like to dedicate this Oscar to that girl that I dated in high school. I'm so sorry if you're listening to this. You didn't deserve any of that.
The next one is the best movie to lose your lunch to. This was submitted by Tom.
That's me.
That's the person on the pod, Tom.
What is a little bit more like vomiting
Yeah, you
Like-
just throw up. It's like gross.
out of like gross factor or like
I guess
just
anything.
in general?
Whatever makes you want to throw up. I have mine. I'm gonna say Barbarian.
Really?
I just did not like the big lady, and I just didn't like that
Wait,
the
don't
hairy
don't
bottle.
spoil too much.
Okay,
I've never seen the movie. I have no
I had
idea.
to justify.
That is going to be a
you
pod.
said really.
No, you're right.
I went with something interesting here. I went with Super Size Me because if you throw
Whoa,
up
yeah.
seeing how bad fast food is for you, maybe it's going to be the beginning of a Pavlovian response, and you'll just cut out fast food, and
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
life will be better for it.
That's
Um,
valid.
That is
I
good.
will recommend. I will submit for consideration The Breakfast Club because I fucking hate that movie.
You'll throw up your breakfast.
Yeah. Every time I watch it, I'm just like, "Ugh, bro.
This is one of the questions I was not as prepared for. I haven't seen Cats, so I can't submit that for consideration. But I was surprised Jared didn't claim that.
I already used my Cats card. So
Yeah, Cats goes undefeated at the
It can
Oscars.
win multiple.
Okay, I have one that's like I really liked this movie, but I do think it was kind of like there was a lot of gross imagery in it. Was Platform, which
Haven't
was
seen
I believe it was
Haven't
a
seen it.
Spanish film, and it was on Netflix. You have to basically like so this feast is prepared beginning of every day, dropped on this platform, and you only have like a minute to grab whatever you want off of the thing, off of the feast, and then it goes to the person below you. And so basically it just keeps going down for like hundreds of floors, and you're like stuck like a prisoner in this room. And so it just comes through the middle of your room, and you have to eat whatever's left. So like the further you live down the building, the less food you get. And the more gross it is because people are basically like just scavenging off of this for like 100 floors of people, and then you just
Yeah.
get whatever's left. It was just a really good movie. Gross. So I'm gonna go-
Another capitalist critique.
Can I?
another
Can I?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's gross because of capitalism.
Can I change my submission? I thought of a way better one.
No.
Yes.
I'm kidding, yes.
Instead of Breakfast Club, because haha, I don't like movie makes me barf. Serbian film.
I have not
Unfortunately.
seen it, but I've heard.
I haven't
I've
seen
heard.
it.
Don't watch it. I don't
That's
know
what I've
why
heard.
I did, and no one should.
Wait, what was Jared's?
supersize me.
Okay.
That's a solid one.
I'm voting for a Serbian.
I haven't even
haven't
seen
seen
it,
it
but
either,
based
but
on
I know it's the
everything I
winner.
know, I'm going Serbian film.
I'll
Yeah.
vote a
Never-
Serbian film. 'Cause
Not
I
as,
haven't.
not as proud of that Oscar.
No, you do still have to vote though.
Oh, I'll go Supersize Me. That movie's
That's
gross.
fair. The next
Oscar
one we
Lee
have
Gaines,
was
runner
submitted.
up.
Yeah, good, nice Oscar on the pod. We
Yeah.
the next one we have is best movie to talk about on a podcast with your homies.
Yeah.
That's a
Is
good
this
one.
gonna
That was
be our
submitted by Noah.
recommendations?
So this could just be movies we want to see on the pod. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Cats.
You're making a mistake.
Put
I
Cats-
assure you.
You don't
Put
understand how
Cats
good of
on
a
the
time.
schedule.
You don't understand how good of a time it will be for the other three of us
Oh.
on this pod.
I
Put
got a
Cats
good one.
on the schedule.
Yeah, I said The Lighthouse because it's good enough
It would
that you
be
could have
good.
actual intellectual conversations about, but it's also so fucking weird that there's so many good opportunities
Yeah,
to just riff with
that's
the
a good
boys
one.
for 2 hours about it.
That is a really
Okay.
good one.
I got one. I'll
yeah,
do
go ahead.
It Follows. I think same reasons as Jared.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not as weird. I didn't see the
I
Lighthouse.
don't
but
know
I'm
a whole lot
assuming it's
about
not
It
as weird.
Follows.
We should watch it because it's like I really like that movie.
It Follows is pretty weird. It would be good for the pod, I think.
And it
Sure, The
cannot be
Lighthouse
expressed
is
enough.
weird.
It follows the hero's journey.
It definitely doesn't.
I don't think it does. I'm going to submit Hot Rod. Because Burke and I fucking love Hot Rod. and
I
we would
love Hot
have-
Rod.
I'm pretty sure we all love Hot Rod.
Wait,
and I
wasn't
think we
Andy
would-
Sandberg also
Yeah.
in That's My Boy?
He was, yeah.
I fucking love Hot Rod. That being said, my vote is for Jared for Lighthouse because Lighthouse is also, yeah, I can't wait to see just your reactions to that movie.
I'll vote The Lighthouse as well. I like Hot Rod, but since it's already funny, it might be hard to talk about.
That is
on
true.
the pod.
That is true.
I'll vote Cat.
Yes. Jared.
Oh wait, I got to vote. Tom, what was yours again?
It Follows.
Sorry, I said
Sure,
one
I'll vote
good and I
for
stopped listening.
Is this a 4-way tie?
Yes.
Wait,
No, two of us
Pretty
voted
good.
for Lighthouse. Lighthouse wins.
Oh yeah.
Lighthouse wins.
Yeah,
Lighthouse
right.
go did. Okay. Next one we got up, I submitted as well. Or no, sorry, this one was submitted by Jared, which is the best shark movie that's not the first Jaws movie.
Jaws 2.
Did you submit this,
Well,
Jared, just so
shit.
you can say that joke?
No, I was actually trying to think if I did. I didn't have Jaws 2 originally, but I'm like, yeah, it's probably.
I feel like Jaws 2 isn't that bad.
I'm stealing it so no one else says it's Sharknado.
Fair enough. I am going to say mine so no one steals it. The 1960s Batman movie, just for that scene with the shark.
Okay, that's good. That's good shit. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I'm playing this with the rules, but okay.
I guess I have
It's a
I have
movie
to
with a
go with
shark in
this
it.
this Megalodon movie, but I'm not actually sure what it's called. It might just be
The
called
Meg.
Megalodon.
The Meg.
It's
My,
not the Meg. Wasn't the Meg recent?
They're making
there's like-
another one.
There was like a really old Megalodon movie I remember watching when I was a kid.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I saw it. I can't remember what it's called though.
There's a scene where a guy just jumps off the boat right into its mouth.
Do we count Shark Week?
Shark
Is it
Week
a
as
whole
whole is
movie?
not
Is it
counted.
Three-Headed Shark Attack? Three-Headed Shark Attack
No.
featuring
I can't even really
Danny
think of that
Trejo.
many
Danny
sharks.
Trejo's
Oh
in
my
that
God.
movie.
What
Three-Headed Shark
what
Attack.
other shark movies are there?
No, but if we're getting into the territory of sci-fi original shark movies, my
It
runner-up was
Swallows.
Ghost Shark was a shark that could come through any water source, and there's a scene where it comes on the slip and slide and eats a kid.
Oh,
That's so cool.
There's
Wait,
a movie
there
called
was
The
another
Shallows, but I was thinking of It Follows, and then I read it as It Swallows, and I thought that was funny. Also Shark Tale would have been a good one. Good submission.
Cool.
Shark Tale.
I'm voting for Batman 66.
I'm also voting for Batman 66.
Yay.
I'll vote for Jaws too.
Wow. All right. Fuck me.
I
guess.
kind of like that. Oh,
Wait,
you
who didn't
got
vote?
2 votes.
Hold up. Everyone keeps
Noah's
whoever
the
gets most
capitalist. He
votes
just
keeps
wants
forgetting
everything.
to vote. Noah, you still have to vote.
Oh yeah.
God damn
You
it.
can vote for Jaws 2 and make it a tie.
I have all the power right now.
All these
I know. I'll put it.
right now.
I'll put it towards Sharknado. Sharknado's rad.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I was about
Is
to
it really
cry.
a shark movie or is it a tornado
Shut up!
movie?
Shut up!
We're also still waiting on Tommy
We're
Wiseau's
letting the
film,
Batman
Big Shark.
66
we are
win this,
still
and
waiting
you're
on
telling me-
that.
We're still
I
waiting
can't
on
wait
Big
for that to
Shark.
come out. Big
Big
Shark.
Shark.
Tommy Wiseau's doing something else.
Bro,
Yeah, he's making a movie called
done
Big
a lot
Shark.
bro.
That
Hell
trailer's
yeah.
been out for like 4 years.
I
Holy
know it
shit.
is genuinely a funny trailer.
It is so fucking funny. Okay,
I've not
the
seen
next
it.
movie.
Also,
or
I've
the
not
next.
seen The Room. Believe it or not.
Don't you worry.
That's
We're
gonna
gonna
be a
add it to
pod
the list
episode for
eventually.
sure. That's like a 100 episode type thing. That's like a big
Yeah.
big
Yeah.
milestone. The best. The next one is the slowest movie that was still worth watching.
This is probably the hardest one for me to think of.
Yeah.
You weren't gonna. You're not going. Not going Oscar bait. Scorsese. With
No.
Wait.
No, believe me, The Irishman is nowhere near good enough to be.
Nice.
I'm going with.
What about one of those
Uh,
Stephen King 4-hour movies that were put on TV?
Oh my god.
Those weren't really movies though. They were like
Nor
when you're
were
talking about
they
like
good.
Rose Red, it was like a series. It was like a mini series.
Fair. Mine, by the
Yeah.
way,
Shut the fuck up, Burke.
mine, if you were wondering,
You
is
bitch.
mi-
Just go
mine,
in.
is, mine is a movie that I will not spoil because it 1000% will be a podcast episode. Is Bernie, starring Jack Black, and is probably one of the funniest slow burn movies I've ever watched. And I
Not even
cannot
heard of it.
wait to force all of you to watch this movie.
Cool.
Not even heard of it.
I'm gonna go with the Anya Taylor-Joy starring the Witch, the Vivitch.
The Vitch.
The Vivitch, yeah.
The Witch.
Very nice.
It's a pretty slow movie.
It's a good one.
I will say, to actually go back off of what we were talking about previously. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. That movie is super slow. But as a complete package, pretty good.
Oh, it's great.
Okay. We'll take it. Tom, what you got?
Yeah, I'm having a hard time thinking of one. I could pull from another movie, like I already nominated, because I
If
could
you
say
want.
maybe could say Barbarian again because
Barbarian is pretty slow.
it definitely drags its feet. But I mean, it works out. I think that's why I said it's
Right.
like.
Well, that's the point. That's the point of this Oscar. Slow but good.
Yeah, I'll say Barbarian again.
Did I tell you guys about? I mean, I'll save this for more for when we actually watch it. But Barbarian is from the Whitest Kids You Know's guy. Right?
Yeah, Yeah, I knew that.
I think I heard that. I haven't seen the movie. I know nothing about it. So
Okay, so I'll save that discussion because there's a whole thing about that. So, but anyway,
Hmm.
all right. So I'm gonna go ahead and vote for. I think that I'm gonna give mine to Barbarian.
nice.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Jared, what did you say again?
The Vivitch.
Yeah, I'll throw mine towards the Vitch. Sure.
The Vitch.
Towards
Did
that
anyone not vote
bitch.
yet? We didn't vote yet.
I haven't seen. No, I haven't voted, but I actually haven't seen any of your films. I'll say the
Anyone-
Vivitch.
Okay, fine.
The Vivitch.
That's fair. Okay. The next one up we have is the best movies to base an NFT scam off of.
The Snyder Cut. The Snyder Cut.
Oh, that's really
actually
good.
That's
Those people
really
are still
good.
going at it.
In 4x3, just as the a 4x3 fucking GIF as the director.
I have one
On the
that's I think a
blockchain.
really
That was
good
the one I was most excited about.
Yeah,
The Wolf of Wall Street.
that is good.
That's a great one.
That is really good. I'll in a similar vein, I will say The Big Short.
Yeah. Okay.
The irony of the
The irony of it.
situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it.
I thought we were gonna go in a completely different direction of how we interpreted this, and being like
He's gonna be like
making
plant-
like little, making little characters out of it,
Hey, but
out
really,
of just like
you
making
can
a
do
whole
that.
bunch of them.
You can
Yeah,
do
you
Wait,
can
that.
do that.
You guys went so, but now I'm like, because I think this was already nominated before. Because I was like, oh, Into the Spider-Verse, because you can do all the different Spider-Men
I mean, yeah.
as the NFTs.
You
Yeah.
can still put it up there.
Well, that's
I'll
why
put it
Jared
up
did
there.
his. I have a really good one, honorable mention that I didn't put, but would have been great. Would have been War of the Planet of the Apes,
Actually, that one would have been
just
good.
because of all the
Yeah.
monkey picks. But I'm
Yeah.
sticking with Wolf of Wall Street. I will,
I'm voting for Wolf
however,
of Wall Street.
I'll be voting for Jared's for Snyder
Wolf?
Cut.
Snyder Cut NFTs.
I'll
Restore the
say
Snyderverse NFTs.
I'll say Snyderverse NFTs. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll do that too.
That's a good one. That's a really good one. Okay.
Yep.
And then the
Jared
next
didn't vote, but whatever.
I said Wolf
He's
of
at
Wall Street.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
He voted for me. I know that no one
All right,
hears
cut
that.
cut
ever.
me saying that out. Make sure Noah make the noise.
No, make the noise.
All right.
Oh
cut-
no, but this is like our
Good
fifth
job,
error, so you have
Jared.
to make it like 5 times.
I'm not
No,
fucking doing
no,
it.
you
I'm not
no.
doing it. I'm
You
not
only
doing
have to do it again if you did this.
I
Same
can
thing.
proceed through the category.
it. Yeah, please.
The next one is by Noah, the most fine movie. It's fine movie.
Okay.
Oh,
I
man.
I was like, what's just fine? And I guess because Ant-Man's coming out tomorrow, I had the franchise on the mind. Ant-Man and the Wasp is the most. Yeah, it's fine. Walked in the theater, walked out, like, yeah, that's fine. Movie I could think of right now.
This is actually kind of tough for me to think of. Unfortunately, I think I'm gonna play this the coward's way and just look back at what I rated past.
Stop! I wasn't
No.
just doing that.
I got one. I think going because I actually do think a lot of Marvel movies are just fine. So I'll say like Thor: Love and Thunder.
I do feel very
super bad.
I do
I do feel very similarly about most like comic book like Marvel DC movies. Usually I don't feel any particular way about them. I'll say yeah, I'm taking the coward's way out and saying that because I gave Jingle All the Way a 5, I suppose that will do. I can't
Technically,
off the top of my head, I can't think of any movies where I was like, I feel nothing for this.
Yeah, and I'm gonna stick on the superhero genre, and I'm gonna go with an unpopular opinion, and I liked it. I didn't dislike it. I'm gonna go Shazam. It's fine.
How dare you?
I think it works.
How dare you?
Listen,
Yeah.
even the
I love
DC,
the first one.
the DCEU
Let's not talk about
at
the
its,
second one.
the
Like that.
DCEU at its best it's fine.
True.
Keep trying.
True.
Except for the Suicide Squad, the new one.
So
Okay.
it's not at its best, just fine. And okay.
Okay, shut
never
up.
mind. This is a different conversation.
Shut
I'm voting for Jingle All the Way.
Based on the
Yes.
numbers, I'm going Jingle All the Way.
I
He
will-
came with stats to back it up. Respect that.
I'm gonna vote Shazam.
I will also say Shazam.
Make
Unfortunately.
the Oscars kick.
No.
We're taking that tie. I'll take
Because
it.
I think Ant-Man and Wasp is a really, really bad movie, and actually would have been one
Really?
I would walk out on. Yeah, it's just like I can't
Oh,
watch.
man.
I actually didn't finish it.
Why?
I
'Cause
didn't
they
even
decided to have a
finish
woman co-lead. Wow.
it. Yes,
Wow.
a woman couldn't do what Ant-Man could do.
Well,
This leads into our next thing.
Oh my god. Yeah, wait, that one's coming. The next one up is best stunt. The Oscar for the best stunt. So this is not just stunts in a movie. I'm assuming this is specifically one stunt in a movie. At least that's
Okay.
how I interpreted it.
Here's mine.
This
It's
is
when
submitted by Jared.
the very first guy shit into the mouth of the second person in the human centipede.
I like that.
Was he like, I'm sorry guys, I have to shit.
I could do this the loser's way and just name a movie with Tom Cruise, but
That's what I
I am going to
Wait a minute,
renominate.
no, Jared.
I am going to renominate Hot Rod.
Which
So specifically, the stunt in the very beginning where he tries to jump the RV and just fucking buckles it instead, and then barfs everywhere. Great, best stunt I've ever seen in my life.
I know-
dying.
I'm going
laughing
first
here.
because Jared's gonna take it, and so I'm going first. Mission Impossible. I forget which one.
Which one?
It's Henry
which
Cavill
stunt?
shotgun pumping his arms.
Oh, Is that a
Henry
stunt,
Cavill
though?
reloading his arms?
I think
that a-
reloading
I was-
your arms is a stunt.
Yeah, I was just gonna go.
If not, I take
Um,
the hot rod scene where at the very end when he's thumbs not big and then he's not holding onto the bike and he falls.
I was gonna go Tom Cruise clinging onto the side of a plane, but yeah, Henry Cavill reloading his arms gets my vote actually.
I don't think I've seen this.
Google
Oh,
it
you
right
haven't
now.
seen it?
Look up Henry Cavill reloading his arms. It's amazing.
Literally, that's all you have to look up. I think it was Mission Impossible 7, right?
Yes.
It's the last one that came out.
Fallout, I think.
Fallout,
Whatever it was
Henry
called.
Cavill arm reload.
Although
Yeah.
Yeah.
when I saw
Yeah, look it
when
up.
I saw Avatar, they had an extended look at the next Mission Impossible where he's like going from motorcycle to base jumping. I'm like, Tom Cruise is going to die filming one of these.
I think that's his plan.
Yeah. He just
his
drove a
retirement plan.
motorcycle off the.
It's to make
off
Mission
the side of the
Impossible movies
cliff.
more dangerous until he dies.
I'm like watching the scene, but it's very
He's like
long.
watching it over and over.
He's watching like a 10
What? I can't. It's such a long. It's this is bathroom fight scene.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the right scene, but also you could probably there's probably like a gif of it,
Yeah.
gif of it. I still I haven't picked a side on that.
Can you describe
I
what
know,
the
it bothers
scene
me.
looks like so I can find it?
Henry
Just
Cavill
literally
Hold on.
described it to you.
reloads his
Just look on
arms.
images.
Hold
Go on
on.
Google Images and then click the GIF
on, I-
filter.
Is
I
there a
found it.
gun in his arm?
No.
I found it. No, Tom, I found it. I'm gonna send it to you.
In what?
Discord.
Okay.
Do we have our votes? I voted for Noah's for the
I
hot
vote for,
rod
I vote for
scene.
Cavill.
I vote for Noah's hot rod scene as well.
I'll vote Mission Impossible.
Was that mine or his?
Yeah, Jared.
Okay, all right.
Ah.
All right. The next one up, let's do like two more. The next one is Best Chekhov's Payoff by Noah. That was Noah's submission.
Yeah.
Best movie Chekhov payoff. Chekhov
Baseball
payoff.
bat and signs.
Tom, I'm actually gonna put it
Baseball
in
bat
the,
and signs is good.
in the messenger because
Oh, okay.
I don't have you as a friend on Discord. I just realized.
We don't have time to discuss how Tom can't find Henry Cavill reloading his arms. Say your choices.
My suggestion is Midsummer with the tapestry.
Yeah.
I was gonna do Midsummer or just the bear.
Yeah. I was gonna go the Angel Wings and Old Boy.
Not familiar.
Okay. Well, yeah, you would have cringed a little bit. Okay.
Midsummer Tapestry.
I'm going Midsummer Tapestry for sure.
I'll also vote Midsummer Tapestry because
Yeah, sweet,
All right,
sweet.
we're just,
I don't think mine have won. Any of mine have won.
no, I
I
don't
got a
think I've
tie.
won
I got a
either.
tie.
I got a tie as
I'm
well.
gonna.
Speaking of Tom, best movie to piss off Ben Shapiro. I think we end on this one.
Yeah. The Lorax.
Yeah, the 2016 Ghostbusters remake.
It's like anything with a woman or a person of color that's
Yeah.
just in it.
The fake Eminem movie that plays before movies.
How am I supposed to jerk off to this?
You know the one. You know the one where they're like, "Stop texting" because like the bomb's about to explode.
Yeah.
That's
They
one.
changed that commercial finally. After like
And
10
there's like the
years.
confidential file that they hand Mr. Peanut. and he's like,
envelope.
This is an envelope. Yeah, that one.
I'll go with
My-
Glass Onion.
My other
Let's
runner-up
take
was
it
going to be
sad.
the Emoji Movie, but
Or I can do. Oh, you can do. I can do Sucker Punch.
they have women smiling.
Sucker Punch.
I've never
I
seen
like
a woman
that.
smile.
I feel like Ben Shapiro would unironically love Sucker Punch.
Yeah.
I'm going 2016 Ghostbusters.
I'm also going 2016 Ghostbusters.
I'll go with it too.
I'll say Sucker Punch.
All right, there we have it.
Hey,
That's
we
our
made it through. Noah wins the Oscar.
I know.
The last category we didn't get
the
to was
most
Deadpool,
edited
which is a
Oscar
hateable
show
character.
you'll ever see.
Yeah. Just to throw it out there, my best performance as a hateable character was a guy who played Grandpa Joe in the original Willy Wonka movie. That's all the time we have. Burke has to leave. Next week we're doing RRR. Tune in next time. We don't have time for our 6-minute outro. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.